Avoid coffee if you suffer from these 5 health issues. Did you know that just 1 cup of coffee may raise your blood pressure for hours, even if you're perfectly healthy? I didn't believe it at first either. But when I looked into it, the science was hard to ignore. Now, don't get me wrong, I love coffee as much as the next person. But here's the truth for some people, that daily cup could be doing more harm than good. In this video, I'll tell you exactly why you need to avoid coffee if you suffer from these 5 health issues. And always remember, if you're dealing with any chronic health concerns, speak to a qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your routine. Now, let's get started by discussing when people should avoid coffee. 1. Gastric ulcers and acid reflux. Most people start their day with a warm cup of coffee, but if you're dealing with acid reflux or a gastric ulcer, that morning ritual could be silently working against your recovery. One major reason coffee aggravates these conditions is its ability to loosen the lower esophageal sphincter, a small muscle that acts like a gate between your stomach and esophagus. When this gate relaxes too much, stomach acid may escape upward, leading to that familiar burning sensation of acid reflux. This isn't just about caffeine either. TTAF may also trigger it, showing that the effect comes from other components like catechols and chlorogenic acids found in the beans. These elements stimulate gastric acid secretion even without the jolt of caffeine, increasing the volume and acidity of stomach contents. For someone with a gastric ulcer, this effect is especially problematic. The extra acid bathes an already damaged stomach lining, slowing down healing and worsening inflammation. Another element that makes coffee risky in these cases is its natural oil content, specifically compounds like cafestol and kawiol. These oils are found in unfiltered coffee and have been shown to irritate the gastrointestinal lining. For people with ulcers, the caffeine adds more friction to an area that's already vulnerable and inflamed. Plus, the way coffee promotes gastric emptying may create a rapid shift in acid levels, creating more chances for acid to splash into places it doesn't belong. The result is delayed healing, more discomfort, and a higher risk of complications like bleeding or deeper erosion of the stomach wall. According to research, coffee clearly stimulates stomach acid, bile, and pancreatic secretions, enhances gut movement, lowers gallstone risk, and alters gut microbiota. Its link to reflux, ulcers, and IBD remains unclear. Before we jump to the second reason, help our channel grow by hitting the subscribe button. Now, let's move on to point 2. 2. High blood pressure. It's easy to overlook the effects of something as familiar as coffee, especially when it feels like a lifeline on busy mornings. But if you have high blood pressure, that comforting cup might be doing more harm than good. The most direct impact comes from caffeine's role in activating your body's fight or flight response. When caffeine enters your bloodstream, it blocks a molecule called adenosine that normally helps you relax and dilates your blood vessels. By shutting it down, caffeine causes your vessels to constrict and sends signals to release more adrenaline. That rush might give you mental clarity, but it also triggers your heart to beat faster and your arteries to tighten, both of which raise your blood pressure within minutes. A substance known as chlorogenic acid is another one that works invisibly. While it's often praised for its antioxidant properties, in the context of high blood pressure, it may interfere with how your body handles nitric oxide, a crucial molecule that helps blood vessels stay open and flexible. When nitric oxide levels drop or its function is impaired, blood vessels become more rigid and pressure builds up. Chlorogenic acid may also affect how your kidneys regulate sodium and fluid balance, pushing your body toward greater volume retention, which again forces your heart to work harder. It's a subtle yet persistent effect that may become more problematic over time, especially if coffee is consumed multiple times a day. According to PubMed, caffeine intake of 200 to 300 milligrams may briefly raise blood pressure for up to 3 hours. How many cups of coffee do you drink daily? Let us know quickly in the comments section below. 3. Insomnia. Coffee may be comforting, energizing, and even part of your identity, but if you're struggling with insomnia, this drink could be a major disruptor hiding in plain sight. One of the biggest issues is how caffeine interferes with adenosine, a natural compound in your brain that builds up over the day and tells your body it's time to rest. Normally, as adenosine increases, you start to feel sleepy. But caffeine binds to the same receptors without activating them, essentially blocking the sleep pressure from being felt. This may delay the onset of tiredness and create a false sense of energy, pushing your natural bedtime further back. Even if you do manage to fall asleep, caffeine stays in your system for hours. Its half-life ranges from 5 to 8 hours, depending on your metabolism. It's also important to know that coffee makes your body release cortisol, which is the main stress hormone. Normally, cortisol follows a natural rhythm, rising in the morning and tapering off at night. But caffeine spikes cortisol levels unnaturally, especially when consumed during times of stress or fatigue. This doesn't just make you feel weird. It resets your internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. When this rhythm is thrown off, your brain gets mixed signals about when to produce melatonin, the hormone responsible for making you feel sleepy at night. So instead of winding down after sunset, your body may stay stuck in a high alert state well into the evening, making deep rest feel out of reach. According to the National Library of Medicine, higher caffeine intake was mildly linked to difficulty staying asleep. 4. Generalized anxiety disorder. Coffee, with its strong aroma and instant lift, feels like a trusted ally. But when anxiety is part of your everyday life, this familiar drink may silently crank up the internal volume, making your heart race faster and your thoughts spiral harder. One core issue lies in how caffeine stimulates the central nervous system. It blocks a calming brain chemical called adenosine while increasing the release of excitatory neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine. This makes you feel alert at first, but it also mimics the body's stress response. Your heart rate goes up, breathing quickens, and adrenaline surges, physiological signals that closely resemble anxiety itself. For someone already prone to anxious thoughts or panic episodes, this overlap creates confusion in the brain. It becomes hard to tell whether you're having a caffeine rush or an anxiety spike, and that uncertainty may fuel more distress. The loop feeds itself, often leading to hypervigilance and a jittery, unsettled state that feels impossible to shake. Theobromine, a natural compound found in coffee, is another thing that is bad for you. It's a mild stimulant that works longer than caffeine. It doesn't just keep your mind active. It may prolong the feeling of internal agitation by acting on your heart and nervous system. Theobromine tends to increase heart palpitations and sensitivity to physical symptoms, which are already heightened in anxiety-prone individuals. According to the National Library of Medicine, caffeine intake is linked to a higher risk of anxiety in healthy individuals, especially at doses over 400 milligrams per day. Meta-analysis showed that low doses moderately increased anxiety, while high doses had a strong effect. 5. Low bone density. When you're working to protect your bones, your first instinct might be to focus on calcium or vitamin D, but the impact of your coffee habit might be just as important. That morning cup may feel harmless, even necessary, but if you're struggling with low bone density, it could be quietly tipping the scales in the wrong direction. Caffeine plays a direct role in reducing calcium absorption in the intestines. When you drink coffee, especially in large amounts or without food, caffeine speeds up the rate at which calcium is excreted in the urine. Over time, this may create a slow leak in your body's calcium bank, one that may not show up immediately but adds up over the years. Even with a decent diet or supplements, the efficiency of absorption matters. When calcium is constantly being flushed out, your bones have less of it to use for maintaining strength and structure. This matters most in people with already thinning bones, where every bit of preserved density helps in preventing fractures and slowing down further loss. An unrecognized problem is that coffee's acidity might change the body's acid-base balance. Coffee is naturally acidic, and when consumed frequently, especially without balancing it with more alkaline foods, it may push the body toward a more acidic environment. To buffer this internal shift, the body may pull calcium, an alkaline mineral, out of the bones to neutralize the acidity. This protective mechanism helps maintain your blood's pH, but it does so at the cost of your bone mass. This leaching process may be minor with occasional consumption, but in those who drink multiple cups daily, especially with poor dietary compensation, it may become a significant contributor to long-term bone weakening. According to PubMed, caffeine may impact bone health by blocking adenosine receptors, potentially reducing bone formation and increasing resorption. It may also affect calcium and vitamin D metabolism. Now that we have discussed the problems of drinking coffee for certain individuals, let's talk about the amazing health benefits of coffee. 1. Boosts brain function. From your first sip, coffee sets off a chain reaction that affects everything from alertness to memory, but making it one of the most effective natural ways to enhance brain performance when used wisely. Caffeine, a natural chemical that quickly crosses the blood-brain barrier after being eaten, is the main thing that gives you this mental boost. Once it's in the brain, caffeine blocks a neurotransmitter called adenosine, which normally makes you feel drowsy and slows down neural activity. With adenosine out of the way, other stimulating neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine increase, raising alertness, sharpening focus, and improving short-term memory. This shift also enhances neuron firing, which is why you feel more mentally active and better able to process information. But it's not just caffeine doing the work. Coffee is also rich in chlorogenic acids, plant-based antioxidants that indirectly support brain function by reducing oxidative stress. Oxidative damage in brain tissue has been linked to mental fatigue, slower processing, and cognitive decline over time. Chlorogenic acids help protect neurons by neutralizing free radicals and supporting the integrity of brain cells. They may also influence glucose metabolism in the brain, providing a steadier energy supply to the neurons responsible for learning, memory, and mood regulation. According to PubMed, up to 400 milligrams of caffeine daily is safe and may boost alertness, mood, and focus and help with headaches. 2. Supports metabolic health. If you're trying to keep your blood sugar stable, manage your weight, or reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, coffee, when enjoyed the right way, may become an ally in that process. Chemicals like chlorogenic acid are one of the main causes of this effect. This polyphenol helps slow down the absorption of glucose in the intestine after meals, which reduces the post-meal blood sugar spikes that are so common in people with insulin resistance. It also helps your body improve insulin sensitivity by influencing enzymes involved in glucose metabolism. That means your cells are more responsive to insulin, the hormone that helps move sugar out of the bloodstream and into the muscles or liver for energy use. Alongside that, caffeine contributes by increasing metabolic rate and promoting fat oxidation. When caffeine is consumed, it stimulates the central nervous system and increases levels of epinephrine, also known as adrenaline. This hormone signals fat cells to break down stored fat and release it into the bloodstream as free fatty acids, which may then be used as fuel by your muscles. That shift not only helps the body burn more energy during physical activity, but also improves how it manages stored fat, especially when paired with regular movement. According to Science Direct, coffee may offer benefits against metabolic syndrome in some groups, showing positive effects in men, women, and Caucasians with medium consumption levels. 3. Protects the liver. Whether you're looking to prevent fatty liver disease, reduce inflammation, or just protect long-term liver function, coffee has some surprising protective qualities. Coffee oils naturally contain a compound called cafestol that stands out as one of the main ingredients. While often discussed in relation to cholesterol, cafestol also triggers beneficial activity in the liver by stimulating the production of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant. Glutathione plays a critical role in detoxification, helping the liver neutralize harmful toxins, alcohol byproducts, and oxidative stress. When the liver is under constant pressure from processed foods, environmental pollutants, or excess sugar, glutathione helps shield liver cells from damage. Chlorogenic acid is another strong player. It works at the cellular level to stop the buildup of fat in the liver. It modulates genes and enzymes involved in fat metabolism, encouraging the liver to break down fat more efficiently rather than allowing it to build up and cause dysfunction. This is especially important in today's lifestyle, where high-calorie diets and sedentary routines often lead to excess liver fat, even in people who don't drink alcohol. According to the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Hepatology, coffee supports liver health by improving liver enzymes and lowering the risk of fibrosis, cirrhosis, liver cancer, and mortality, especially in those with hepatitis B, C, fatty liver, or alcohol-related liver disease. Drinking more than 2 cups daily shows the most benefit. 4. Rich in antioxidants. Most people think of berries or green tea when it comes to antioxidants, but coffee actually tops the list as one of the richest sources of antioxidants in the average American diet. Free radicals are unstable molecules that can damage your DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. Chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol, is one of the main things that fights them. When your body faces daily stressors like pollution, processed food, or even just aging, free radicals may build up and trigger inflammation, accelerate aging, and raise the risk of chronic diseases. Chlorogenic acid steps in by donating electrons to stabilize these molecules, reducing the oxidative stress burden on your cells. Melanoidin, a compound that is made when coffee is roasted, is another powerful antioxidant found in coffee. These large, complex molecules are not only responsible for the rich color and flavor of brewed coffee, but they also deliver strong antioxidant action, especially in the gut. As they move through the digestive system, melanoidins help modulate gut microbiota and bind to harmful oxidative compounds, limiting their impact on the body. This dual action, protecting cells directly and supporting gut balance indirectly, gives melanoidins a unique edge in boosting systemic antioxidant levels. According to research, coffee is a major source of dietary antioxidants. Its bioactive compounds help neutralize free radicals, activate antioxidant genes, and protect against oxidative stress, especially in the digestive system. 5. Supports heart health. You might not think of coffee as heart-friendly, but when consumed in moderation, it may actually help protect your cardiovascular system in some surprising ways. Chlorogenic acid, which helps lower oxidative stress in the blood vessels, is a key part of this process. Oxidative stress happens when free radicals outnumber antioxidants in the body, damaging cells and triggering inflammation. In the context of heart health, this may lead to stiffening of the arteries and a higher risk of plaque buildup. Chlorogenic acid acts as a scavenger for those unstable molecules, reducing inflammation and helping maintain the elasticity of blood vessels. When your arteries stay flexible and responsive, your blood pressure stays more stable, and your heart doesn't have to work as hard to circulate blood efficiently throughout the body. Caffeine is another strong chemical. In small amounts, it causes nitric oxide to be released, which relaxes and widens blood vessels. This improved vasodilation helps enhance blood flow and oxygen delivery throughout the body, reducing strain on the heart during physical or emotional stress. When blood flows more freely, your cardiovascular system operates with better rhythm and less resistance. According to research, moderate coffee consumption may lower the risk of hypertension, heart failure, atrial fibrillation, and overall cardiovascular mortality. Filtered coffee is especially beneficial, supporting heart health by improving cholesterol handling, while boiled coffee may raise cholesterol due to its ditapene content. I'm not here to scare you off your favorite cup, but if you're dealing with any of the health issues I mentioned, you really need to pay attention to how your body responds. Trust me, I had to learn the hard way. You don't have to quit cold turkey, but cutting back or switching to something gentler might be exactly what your body needs. And of course, before you make any changes to your daily routine, especially if you're managing a medical condition, make sure you check in with your doctor or healthcare provider. They'll guide you based on your specific needs. In this amazing video, we learned about all the health issues when we should avoid drinking coffee. But did you know that there are many ways to protect your health? Want to find out more? Watch 12 powerful health benefits of beet juice every day. Or watch 8 powerful reasons why you should eat fennel seeds daily. Watch one, or even better, watch both. In what other health issues should we avoid coffee? Let us know in the comments below.